Have you ever wondered what makes Allah smile? It's a question that invites contemplation, doesn't it? We often think about our actions, our deeds, and how they are perceived in the divine realm. But what if we could know about the actions that truly touch Allah's heart? What if we could learn from the stories of others whose deeds have brought a smile to Allah's face? Intrigued? Well, today, we delve into the tales of three individuals whose actions brought a smile to Allah. Our first story takes us back to the time of the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him. In the bustling city of Medina, there lived a man named Zaid. Now Zaid wasn't a wealthy merchant or a powerful leader. He was an average man with an average job, living an average life. But what set Zaid apart was his extraordinary faith and humility. Every day without fail, Zaid would make his way to the local mosque. Regardless of the weather or his circumstances, he would kneel and pray with a sincerity that touched the hearts of those who saw him. One day, a wealthy merchant came to the mosque. He saw Zaid praying with such humility and sincerity that he was moved. The merchant was used to people flaunting their wealth and status, but here was a man who had neither, yet was content and at peace. The merchant approached Zaid and asked him how he could be so serene despite his circumstances. Zaid simply smiled and said, "My peace comes not from worldly possessions, but from my faith in Allah. I pray not to ask for more, but to thank Him for what I have. I know that He sees my sincerity, and that is enough for me." This story of Zaid is a beautiful reminder to us all. It tells us that true wealth is not measured by the material possessions we have, but by the sincerity of our faith. It teaches us that humility and gratitude are the keys to contentment. Zaid's story is a demonstration of humility that made Allah smile. His devotion, despite his status, his sincerity in prayer, and his unwavering belief in the Almighty, is an example to us all. And so, we come to the end of our first story with the heartening thought: a demonstration of humility that made Allah smile, an example to us all. Our second story is about a woman during the time of the Prophet, peace be upon him. This woman, whose name has been lost to the sands of time, was not a woman of wealth or status. She was an everyday woman, much like any of us, yet she possessed a heart of absolute gold. She lived through her own hardships, faced her own struggles, yet her spirit was never dampened. She was a beacon of hope, her heart filled with a generosity that was larger than life itself. Despite her own troubles, she never hesitated to extend her hand to those in need. She would share her last morsel of food, give her only blanket on a cold night, and lend a listening ear to those burdened with sorrows. Now you may wonder, how do we know of her deeds? It's because her actions were so selfless, so filled with genuine love for her fellow beings, that they echoed through the pages of history. They were acts that transcended the mundane, acts that touched the very essence of humanity. Her actions were not grand gestures meant to be seen by the world. No, they were quiet acts of kindness, done without any expectation of reward or recognition. But reward she did receive, and recognition she did get. Not from the world, but from the one who sees all, the one who knows all. Allah saw her kindness, her generosity. He saw the light she spread in the world, the warmth she provided to those around her. He saw her actions, not for their magnitude, but for their intent, and He was pleased. This woman, who lived her life in humble servitude to her fellow beings, was not just a woman. She was a testament to the power of kindness, a living embodiment of selfless love. And Allah, in His infinite wisdom, saw her for what she truly was. A woman of faith, a woman of love, a woman of kindness. Her selfless act of kindness, a beacon of light in a world so often filled with darkness, made Allah smile. Our final story is about a young child during the time of the Prophet, peace be upon him. This tale takes us back to the days of the Prophet, where we find a young boy whose name is lost to history, but whose actions still resonate with us today. This child was not of noble birth, nor was he blessed with extraordinary talents. He was just an ordinary boy, but with an extraordinary sense of respect and love for his parents. In the Islamic tradition, respect for one's parents holds a high place, second only to the worship of Allah. This young boy embodied this principle in his daily life. He would wake before dawn, perform his prayers, and then quietly slip into his parents' room. There, in the stillness of the early morning, he would stand by their bed, watching over them as they slept, ready to assist should they need anything. His devotion did not stop at dawn. Throughout the day, he would tend to his parents' needs, putting their comfort before his own. He would fetch water, prepare meals, and even massage their weary feet after a long day. His actions were not grand gestures, but small acts of kindness that, when woven together, formed a tapestry of love and respect. Word of the boy's deeds spread throughout the community. People were moved by his actions, and they began to emulate his respect and love for his parents. The boy's actions had a ripple effect, inspiring others to honor their parents and elders, reinforcing the importance of familial bonds in Islam. In the Quran it is said, "And your Lord has decreed that you not worship except Him, and to parents, good treatment." This young boy's actions were a living testament to this verse. His profound respect and love for his parents reflected the teachings of Islam, and it is said that his actions made Allah smile. The child's respect and love for his parents, a testament to the sanctity of familial bonds in Islam, made Allah smile. Each of these stories holds a valuable lesson for us all. As we journey together through these tales of faith, let's take a moment to reflect on the lessons they share. The first story, a narrative of humility, reminds us of the man who, despite his wealth, never flaunted his riches. Instead, he chose to live simply, not because he had to, but because he understood the essence of humility in Islam. He knew that wealth is a gift from Allah, not a testament to one's worth. He taught us that humility isn't about denying our successes, but rather, it's about acknowledging that these triumphs are gifts from Allah. His story is a gentle reminder that in the grand scheme of life, humility is a virtue that brings us closer to the divine. The second story, A Tale of Kindness, tells us about the woman who went out of her way to help others. She was the epitome of selflessness, always putting others before herself. She was not a queen or a celebrity, just an ordinary woman with an extraordinary heart. Her actions were not grand, but her impact was profound. She taught us that kindness is not about grand gestures, but about small acts of love and compassion. Her story is a testament to the fact that kindness is not just an act, but a way of life in Islam. And it's these acts of kindness that bring a smile to Allah's face. The third story, A Parable of Respect, introduces us to a young boy who, despite his age, had a deep understanding of respect. He treated everyone he met with the same level of regard, irrespective of their status, age, or wealth. His respect was not limited to his elders or superiors, but extended to every individual he encountered. He showed us that respect is not about hierarchy, but about recognizing the inherent dignity of every human being. His story is a powerful reminder that respect is a fundamental principle in Islam, and it's this respect that can make Allah smile. Each of these stories highlights the essence of humility, kindness, and respect, three values that are deeply ingrained in the teachings of Islam. They show us that it's not just our prayers and rituals that make Allah smile, but also our actions and behaviors towards others. They remind us that our faith is not simply a set of rituals and beliefs, but a way of life that guides us to be better human beings. These tales are not just stories, they are lessons. They teach us that our actions, no matter how small, can make a significant difference. They remind us that we don't need to be heroes or martyrs to make Allah smile, we just need to be humble, kind, and respectful. They are a reminder that every act of goodness, no matter how small, is seen and appreciated by Allah. May these tales inspire us to live our lives in a way that makes Allah smile. After all, isn't that what faith is truly about? There are two words which are light on the tongue, heavy on the scale, and loved by the most merciful. Subhanallahi wa bihamdi, Subhanallahi al-Azim. Glorified is Allah and praised is He. Glorified is Allah the Most Great. Bukhari and Muslim. The remembrance of Allah is what gives comfort to the heart and soul. In this hadith, the Prophet ﷺ informs us of the great blessings that result from two particularly short phrases verbalized on a Muslim's tongue. The word Tasbih means to negate from Allah every type of defect and imperfection. The most typical phrase used to do this in Arabic is to say, Subhanallah. The two phrases mentioned are easy to say in any situation without difficulty. A person can repeat them over and over again often, and this is why the Prophet ﷺ recommended it. We are also informed that the weight of these two short phrases will be very heavy on the day of judgment, when all of our good and bad deeds will be weighed against each other on the scale. Then the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam stated that these two phrases, in particular, are very beloved by Allah. This indicates that doing Tasbih of Allah and praising Him is among the best forms of supererogatory worship. This hadith also teaches us about the vastness of Allah's mercy over us, because He is willing to give us lots of reward for doing small good deeds. Be sure to give a like to the video, and to get more Islamic videos regularly, subscribe to our Islamic channel and press the bell icon next to it.